Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of PassionateSoccerCoach.com. I'm your host, Alden Bislagic, and in today's discussion, we're going to be talking to Denise and Ron Garcia. We're going to be talking about Team Tobati. So, Denise and Ron, welcome to our podcast. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell me more about Team Tobati?
My name is Denise Garcia. I'm a math teacher at Kingswood Oxford School.
Ron Garcia, a Spanish teacher at Kingswood Oxford. We started Team Tobatí back in my first year at teaching at Kingswood Oxford. So it was 1998. Our headmaster encouraged us to think about some international service trips, to take the students on. My parents are from Paraguay, so I was born in the U.S., so I had the idea of taking students to Tobati, Paraguay, which is where my mom's from. It's a small town about an hour and a half outside of the capital, Asunción.
Okay. And what's this all about? What's the organization? What are you doing on international service trips?
Yeah, so back when we started in 1999, we had the idea of helping education and healthcare in Tobatí. So we started by our first trip. We rebuilt the medical clinic in Tobatí. So there's a public clinic there. It was only a couple rooms, so we tripled the size of it. We funded a reconstruction of the clinic. And our students went and then worked on the clinic there. That first year that we went on spring break, 1999, we also did some tourist trips and some other things. But we noticed that the students liked the service aspect more than the tourist aspect. So moving forward, we changed it to all service trips down there. Then in the following years, we go every spring break. So we go every March. We started building classrooms at the local schools. In Tobatí, there's 23 different smaller communities that make up kind of the district of Tobatí. And in the more rural communities, there were grade schools, but there weren't middle schools. So if students wanted to go past the grade of a fifth grade, they had to travel, walk a long distance to the center of Tobatí to go to middle school. So we were presented with the idea of building classrooms so that there can be middle schools in the different communities. So that the Paraguayan government agreed that if we built the middle schools, they'd provide the teachers for those middle schools. So every March, we would build 4 or 5 classrooms at these different middle schools. And that had a great impact of allowing students who previously would stop going to school after the 5th grade to, go to school through the 9th grade, which is when their middle school ends. And this was especially true for girls, where the families were reluctant to send the girls by themselves to walk 30 or 40 minutes to get to the middle schools. So we were able to improve that dropout rate. And then as the years went on, and we had more and more people involved with the organization, that's when we decided to build our own middle school and high school. And so we built the Macchi School, which is a private school for students in 7th grade through 12th grade. And it's for the so we give a free education, 3 meals a day, and basic health care to poor students throughout Tobatí. They apply to get in, and we accept 15 students per grade. And so that's been our main focus from the years 2004 until now is our school there.
Excellent. So since 1998, how many lives did you impact? How many youth, kids?
Yeah.
Like, I know you build health centers, classrooms, school. How many lives does your organization impact annually or since then? Give like a rough number.
From the North American, from the U.S. student perspective, we take between 60 and 100 students to Paraguay each March. So, we have a huge group of students that come from our school here at Kingswood Oxford and from some other schools, but primarily from Kingswood Oxford. We travel down there. So, we've taken, I would say, over 2,000 students to see Paraguay and to do, the good work down there. So from the U.S. student perspective, we've shown 2,000 American students, just the great satisfaction and the powerful impact they can have in different communities. And what our students learn when they travel to Paraguay, they often think, from my perspective, that poverty and a poor country and a poor community is sad. That they're going to go and find people who are sad. But when they go to Paraguay, they find the exact opposite. They find a people with great passion for life, great enthusiasm, great energy, and our American students are invigorated by the spirit of the kids in Paraguay. So we've had a lot of students that have gone on, a lot of our American students that have gone on to join the Peace Corps, start organizations themselves, and do a lot of international work because of the great experience that they had when they were young students. From the Tobatí Paraguayan student perspective, we've helped tens of thousands of students who have been able to go to the schools where we built classrooms. We built over 40 classrooms throughout Tobatí, and the hundreds of students that have gone through our school have had their lives completely transformed, because like most of the boys that were born in Tobatí that went to our school, their parents work in brick factories. That's the main industry in Tobatí, is small brick factories. And their dads working in the brick factories, and from the age of 10 or 11, the Tobatí boys, start working in these factories. And that's the only future that they would have known. But by applying and coming to our school, and it's a rigorous academic institution. So the schools in Tobatí only go for about 3 or 4 hours a day, the public schools. So there's a morning shift, there's an afternoon from 1 to 4 shift, and then there's a night shift for the boys that work in the brick factories. So they only go to school for about 3-4 hours a day, and the classes are big, and the education is very poor. So Paraguay is often ranked last in South America in public education. So and then the students that go to our school, it's from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. with and because our classes are small, only 15 students per grade, it's rigorous discipline preparation. So we've taken students whose parents don't speak much Spanish. They only speak the indigenous language, Guarani, and the kids coming in were much more comfortable speaking Guarani than Spanish. and they would have had no chance to excel anywhere, outside of the brick factories in Tobatí. And because of their hard work, they become real strong students. We've had 5 students come to the colleges in the U.S. We've had hundreds of students that have gone to college in Paraguay. We have students that have gone to Argentina, China, Australia. We have these kids whose lives have been transformed because we were able to give them an opportunity. And like that was, the dream that me and my father had. My father grew up poor in Asunción, but he had a family that was educated and really emphasized education. And he was able to excel in education and come to the U.S. and have a very successful life here. And something he always talked about when I was growing up was that how many great minds and spirits were not reaching their potential in Paraguay and throughout the world because they were never given opportunity as well as the discipline to do it. So, my goal was to see how many stories like my father could be told. We have a student that came from Tobati, went to our school, applied and got accepted to the University of Pennsylvania, and is now high up in Google. He's a computer programmer, and like for him to go from where he was in rural Tobati to an Ivy League school to Google, and now this student provides scholarships for Tobati students and helps and contributes to the school. We've had students go through our school, come to the U.S. and study, and now work for the U.S. Embassy in Paraguay, and are through their U.S. fund, which helps fund education programs, and then they're helping students do the same thing that they did, getting scholarships to go to college and to apply to U.S. colleges. It's like we've seen such great stories, just by providing opportunity to these students.
And it's so nice, like Ron said, that so many who've gone through the program just want to give back and help perpetuate the cycle of opportunity that was created.
It's excellent. So Ron, are you a first generation in the U.S. or like?
Yeah. So my parents came in 1971. I was born here in the U.S. Yeah.
Yeah, just like your father, you see, you come from an international background. You understand the value of the opportunity that's in front of you, right? And the U.S., it's good to open up, like you said, 2,000 students' eyes a little bit, because once you go to a different country, like they're not going to be depressed. They're going to appreciate your support. They're going to appreciate what you're giving them. As a teenager, as a young boy, my son's age right now, like 10-year-old, I left my country. There was a war in my country. So I was a refugee running around, leaving the country with nothing, so I'm going to Germany. We stayed in Germany for 7 years. And then finally my family decided, we're going to go to land of opportunity, which is the United States. Over here, they give you the opportunity to do whatever you choose to do. If you have the discipline and the work ethic and the drive, I think you can accomplish anything. But you guys providing the educational side in a country that's, like you said, second to lowest ranked on the educational side, I think you're making a huge impact, because now you're giving them tools to continue succeeding, educating themselves, expanding their knowledge, and one student at a time. You made an impact on 10,000 plus students throughout your tenure. That's a lot of helping hands, a lot of minds that you guys are making an impact to. And a great story from the Google guy that you just mentioned, or lady, I don't even know if it's a boy or girl. That's inspiring to other students. That's possible. if they go and put the time and effort into the education, they can get out of the status, whatever, like, and help out more people and make a bigger impact, which is the whole point. How does soccer play in Paraguay? Like I know, like just like in European countries, South America, probably it's the religion, right? Soccer is like it's either the religion and soccer ball, right? Is that how it goes there?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Soccer's the only sport in Paraguay. Like, they say go play games, and games is synonymous with soccer. Like there is no other sport. Um, People play soccer, and then when they get old, they play the PK, they call it, which is just the volleyball soccer. Yeah, no, soccer is everything. And something that soccer has been huge for us with our community service trips is, soccer is a way that different cultures can communicate without language or cultural barriers. Um, you know, Ever since we started in 1999, we would always bring soccer balls and soccer supplies to the different schools in Tobatí, which would immediately cause all the little kids to start playing soccer, and then our guys would join in and play soccer with them. And we found that like soccer and through dance are the easiest ways that we can form bonds, between the American and Paraguayan students. Yeah, so soccer's always been part of what we're doing. This past year we built a soccer field at our school in Paraguay, and so that our students can play some soccer. And school and sports are the two of the great ways to develop a character and discipline in kids.
100%. 100%. Soccer is a world language.
Yep.
Yeah, and it really has been the most fun part of the trip for a lot of kids is our students are doing their manual labor, digging dirt, moving bricks, and then they bring out a soccer ball, and all of a sudden everybody is having fun and laughing and running around like they haven't been working hard for the past 2 hours. And it's just been really a great fun bonding experience for our kids and the kids from Paraguay.
Let's talk about like we're talking about soccer equipment, jerseys, and all that stuff, cleats. What kind of impact would that make? Like if you start bringing more, like with your like on your strips, like what kind of impact would that make to the kids? I know like it's sometimes they play barefooted. They don't even have cleats.
Yep.
They don't even have socks. They don't have shorts and nothing. Like, do you think that would make a bigger impact if you bring more with you guys on there?
Yeah, something that's fascinating to our students is when a soccer game starts, all the Paraguayan kids take off their shoes because the shoes are a precious thing that they don't want to get dirty or get worn out. So they play barefoot, the Paraguayan kids. And if they were given shoes specifically for soccer, yeah, that is a huge luxury in Paraguay, and one that the students would love. And jerseys, anything that makes the game feel more official, more special. That's something that's something that most of the kids down there have never experienced. When I was playing soccer in Indiana, I wasn't great, and neither were the other kids in Indiana in the 80s. And I remember my mom's dad came to visit us from Paraguay. And he came and he saw these beautiful fields, and we all had our uniforms and cleats and shin guards and soccer balls, and he was saying he couldn't believe what a waste it was having all this great equipment and fields for us who weren't great soccer players, because like in Paraguay the kids, like, those types of things are reserved for the kids that are in the academies and are trying to become professional players. But most of the kids have never had good soccer equipment or jerseys or cleats.
Do you partner up with like clubs or other organizations to help you with these efforts?
We've
No.
had, I think, just through coincidence, mostly. I mean, like Kingswood Oxford has given us some old sets of uniforms. One time there was a West Hartford Town League that gave us their old uniforms. So we have been, on occasion, been able to bring whole team sets of things, but most often it's just donations that people give to us individually.
So how can people find where to like donate to? Like, is there like a website or like a location to drop it off or ship it to? Because our audience is all over the states, all over like nationwide. What can they do to help?
Yeah, our website is teamtobati.org. So teamtobati.org, teamtobati.org. We collect stuff here at Kingswood Oxford School in West Hartford, Connecticut. So, that's where our students bring stuff in. All the students that go on the trip, we ask them to try to get some supplies. And it's either soccer or education supplies. So, that's how people can get in touch with us and help out.
One of the challenges typically would be transportation. Like, let's say you got a big donation, right? Like a club donates 2,000 jerseys, whatever it is.
Yep.
Like, I know transportation is one issue. Like, so like people can also they don't need to donate like just jerseys. They can also donate to the fund potentially, like to help out, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep. On the website, there's a link to make tax deductible donations. We're a 501c3 organization, so all donations are tax deductible. The transportation of the materials is tough. What we're able to do is each March, these students bring some stuff down with them for their clothes, to change and stuff, but most of their suitcase is donations. So, if we bring like this year, we'll bring around 60, 70 students down. So, that gives us 60 or 70 suitcases that we can fill up. So, we fill those up with donations, and that's the cheapest way for us to, transport the stuff down there.
Yeah, typically it's the transportation that kills it.
Yep.
But for the upcoming trip in March, what's the plan? What are you guys doing this coming March?
We have like 23 different projects and activities that we do. About 10 of them are different construction things that the students work on, and the other ones are different cultural things. And the best part of our trip is that the students at our school in Paraguay join up with the American students. So we form groups of like 6 American students and 6 Paraguayan students, and they form a group of 12, and that group of 12 will be working together and playing together for the whole trip. So they'll in the morning they'll go and work on the construction of a classroom, and then in the afternoon they'll learn how to cook Paraguayan food, and then the next day they'll work on a dance together, and then in the afternoon they'll go and work on the construction of a park. So and then at night they play soccer together, or they do they organize some different festivals for the students. But so for the whole time, the Paraguayan American students work together and play together, again, like through soccer, through dance, through working on a construction project together. So like the favorite part of the trip for both the Paraguayan and American students is they form friendships with people from the other country, and it's amazing how close they become over our 10-day trip. So the doing good work and sports can transcend the cultural and linguistic obstacles that are there. So it's such a great thing. When we had to stop the trip during COVID for those 3 years, and just the excitement in Tobatí when we returned, because Tobatí talks about like there's 2 holiday seasons in Tobatí. One is Christmas and New Year's, and the other is March when when Team Tobatí comes to visit. And just how the town felt the absence of the optimism that comes every March, because it's American kids and Paraguayan kids all doing good things, helping the community, playing games together, and just such a positive time. So it was so great last year that we were able to go again, and that we're planning another trip this year.
Did COVID make an impact on your organization?
Yeah, no, COVID made it really hard. Because the one of the main ways that we raise money is through the trip, because the American kids, pay for the trip, and we use that money to fund the school as well as the service projects, because the people in Tobatí offer up their homes, so we all stay with host families, and so there's very little expenses in Tobatí, for the trip. So the money that the kids pay goes towards our school. So when we were unable to do the trip for 3 years, that was very difficult. And some of the families that go on the trip often donate towards the school. So yeah, it was very difficult. We had to cancel the trip because March in 2000 was when everything started. So we had to cancel the trip 4 days before we were leaving. So yeah, it was very difficult.
Well, I'm glad we don't need to worry about that anymore. You guys going this March, right?
Yep.
That's exciting. Anything else you want to leave the audience and the fans with?
Just that there's nothing better than seeing young people work together and help one another, and that this has been the greatest thing that I've done with my life is giving students the opportunity to travel and help another community, and giving people an opportunity to make a better life for themselves. Because like I was saying, like my hero's always been my father. So I wanted boys like him in Paraguay to get the opportunities to become great. I've always compared myself to my father, and me growing up in Indiana and him growing up the way he grew up, just how much tougher he was than me. Just the drive that he had and the fearlessness that he had. So my goal has been to create more people like my father. So and then we've done that. So it's been great.
Well, I appreciate what you guys are doing, the mission behind it, the goals, the impacts you guys made over the 20 plus years. That's huge. 1 year at a time, one student at a time. I think it's just going to continue. I'm going to post links, where people will discuss your website, where people can donate, drop off stuff. Hopefully we can make an impact for the March trip, where you're going to have more than they can carry, right? And that's the ultimate goal, right? To bring the community together here and help out some kids in need, kids that don't have the luxury that we have here in the U.S. So once again, thank you again for being part of the, the podcast or the interview. Love what you guys are doing, and I'm gonna keep supporting this as we continue going.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you guys.